Hello, collectors. John Parker with Parker Pennies here, and back by popular demand is another Parker Pennies collector quiz, part 2. And as before, I've got my son and producer Jay Parker on the stream as a complete coin novice. We're going to go through these collection questions. This is really designed to help you collectors to know where you are as you gain knowledge, because one of the things we value at Parker Pennies is growing in collector knowledge. Every week, Jay, I learn something new, and it's always refreshing to me. It's a little humbling to know that there's an infinite amount of knowledge to be gained in the collecting community. But I just love the process. I love the journey. So here we go. Without further ado, Parker Pennies Collector Quiz, Part 2. Keep your own score and see how you do on all these. All right, so here we go, Jay. We're going to play. The first thing is going to be a which came first. There's going to be 5 questions. For the record, Jay has not seen any of these questions. He's probably going to only get maybe a handful of them right.
That would be better than the first time, which we could link in here, by the way, if anybody missed it and wants to go see the first part. Yes, you should
check it out, Part 1. All right, here we go. Which came first? Which did the U.S. Mint begin striking first, the wheat cent or the mercury dime?
Okay, so I don't know, but let me see if I can come up with some logic for a reason to guess. In my head, I'm thinking back to the first time we played this, and I feel like mercury dimes were kind of early 20th century, and I think the wheat penny goes back further. I'm going to say wheat penny.
The correct answer is the wheat penny.
Okay, nice.
But here it is. They're both early 20th century.
Right, I figured they were close, yeah.
The wheat cent started in 1809 for the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. I'm remembering we talked about how several of the coins line up with Lincoln birth anniversary
the
stuff.
penny especially.
Yeah.
And then the mercury dime began striking in 1916, shortly after. Well, in fact, the barber dime and the mercury dime both ended and started the same year, 1916.
Oh, wow.
The last barber dime, 1916, first mercury dime, 1916. All right, number 2. Which coin came first, the Eisenhower dollar or the Lincoln Memorial cent?
Well, I'm pretty sure the late 50s is when we change, and so it's got to be 59 that we change it if it's tied to Lincoln's birthday anniversary. So I'm going to guess the Lincoln Memorial penny is earlier.
That's right. You're 2 for 2. 1959 is the first year of the Lincoln Memorial cent. So the wheat cent went from 1909 through 1958. And for Lincoln's 150th anniversary,
they changed.
We got the Lincoln Memorial.
So I learned a little bit from our first time.
The Eisenhower dollar began striking in 1971.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 3, which came first, the Jefferson nickel or the Washington quarter? Now, these are pretty close together. So
yeah, this one I have less of an idea on, too. Like, because I remembered from last time the Lincoln birth anniversary thing to some degree. Like, not in great detail, but vaguely that was correct. This I have no shot. Guess in the dark, Jefferson nickel.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
That's
fair, because I knew nothing. So
the Jefferson nickel started, in fact, again, like the mercury and barber dime, the last year of production of the Buffalo nickel and the first year of production of the Jefferson nickel were the same year, 1938.
Okay,
38. The Washington quarter began striking in 1932.
Okay, so really close. Yeah.
Very close together. A little bit of a trick question for you. By the way, there's no such thing as a 1931 quarter.
Oh, we just didn't make them that year?
We did not make a 31. The standing Liberty quarter ended in 30, and the Washington started in 32.
Man, wow.
All right, next. Which series came first? The barber dime.
Okay.
Or the first small cent, the Flying Eagle cent, small cent?
Well,
which came first?
I remember from paying attention that 1916 is the end of the barber dime, the beginning of the mercury dime.
Mm-hmm. Good.
But I've got to imagine, in my head, small cents are just very old thing in general, and so I'm guessing the first small cent had to be way earlier.
You're right, 1857.
Yeah.
You got the Flying Eagle. It was a series that ran for only 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
3 years if you count the 650 or so examples they made for Congress and handed out. Those, by the way, I wouldn't bother looking for one. But if you know someone who was in the Senate in 1856, you got a very rare coin there.
Yeah.
The barber dime started in 1892.
No, we're doing Is that what we're doing? Barber? Yeah.
Yeah,
It said
which-
ends in 1960. I'm sorry.
Yeah, which came first. So the
Gotcha.
barber dime was 92. Eagle was 57. All right. Which series ended first? And if you were paying attention,
I
you
should know
might
the
have
answer.
a shot. Which series ended first, the Mercury dime or the Franklin half dollar?
Okay, so the Mercury dime, is that what you said? Well, I know the Mercury dime starts in 1916. Do I know
Yeah.
when it ends? Did we talk about when it ends?
No.
Okay. So then, yeah. And then what was my other option?
The Franklin silver half dollar.
The Franklin silver half dollar, I assume, ends when the Ike dollar starts. No?
It's a half dollar and a dollar.
Oh, they're not the same.
No.
I was trying to think back to previous questions. I don't know that I can piece this one together from
Okay, so take a
information in the
guess.
test. I'm gonna guess the Mercury dime
You
that
are
didn't
correct.
that didn't last that long, right?
It went from 16 to 45.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty.
So 30 years,
yeah.
basically. The Franklin ended in 1963.
Okay.
It went from 1948 to 1963.
Well, that's not very long
And in
either.
64,
25
we
years.
picked up the Kennedy half dollar, which we still have minting to this day. Although there are stories circulating about the end of the Kennedy half dollar, which was a pretty long run, 64 to now.
I feel like. Tell me if this is true. This is an aside. I feel like the main currency denominations, penny, nickel, dime, quarter, change the major stuff less often than like half dollars, dollars. I feel like they swap those out a lot. Is
That's
that
true.
pretty
That's
accurate?
generally true.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so you made it through the first 5 questions. Now, here's some more harder stuff. Now, this is tied to the calendar. So this video is being filmed October 6th, 2025. Okay.
Mhm.
How much value in silver melt is there in a Washington silver quarter as of October 2025? So we want to know, it's a 90% silver coin,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of imagine what the
The
weight
weight,
might
yeah.
be.
And I know.
And I will give you
relatively what
this:
silver is now.
the silver per ounce value is hovering around $48
Right.
right now.
Okay. How many does it weigh? How many would it take to get to? I mean, I'm guessing it's like a third of an ounce at most. So I'm gonna say $15.
$8.50.
So about half that, a
Yeah.
sixth of an ounce. Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
That's about right. About $8.50. Now, imagine if you got paid in silver quarters back in the 60s for your $2
Be
an hour
nice.
job.
Yeah.
You know, every one of those is worth at least $8.50 without considering any numismatic value for rare dates and things like that.
I wonder what it would look like to go back and do the math. $1 in the stock market versus $1 in silver quarters. How would it perform since the 1960s? Because I mean, that is like 70.
That's
years,
32
isn't it?
times face.
Yeah.
32x.
Has $1 in the stock market? Probably not. I would guess, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How much silver melt value there is there in a Franklin half dollar as of October 2025? Now,
Well, I mean, that's got to be closer to like between half an ounce and an ounce, I would guess. So I'm gonna say $35.
$17.50.
I'm doubling
So
these
it
almost
weighs,
exactly.
It weighs about twice as much as a Washington
Yeah.
quarter, generally.
makes sense.
It's not an exact deal, but about how much silver melt is there in a Mercury dime as of
Well, that's
October
the smallest.
2025?
So, but actually, I don't think dimes weigh that much less because they're denser, right? $4.
$3.50.
Okay.
And then finally, how much silver melt value is there in a silver dollar, like a Morgan dollar or a peace dollar? The Ike dollar generally has no silver. There are some silver strikes, but they're 40%. But the peace dollar, the Morgan dollar, and back even
that's
beyond
a
that,
999
that's a
or
no 0.9,
0.9.
0.9 silver.
Gotcha. I'm gonna guess sticking with the quarter. They've basically all been double, so I'm gonna guess 35 for this one.
$37.50.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you have a whole stash of silver dollars at home, every one is worth about $37.50 in melt. Again, without accounting for any numismatic
Yes.
value, rare dates, things like that.
To clarify, it's illegal to melt these. Like, you don't actually melt them. This is just what the hypothetical value
Yep,
of the melt in the
value,
coin would be.
silver melt value within
It's
the coin.
it's kind of easy. Like a nice bow to put on it is like just double it for each one, right? The dime
Just
was like
about.
$3 to $4. The quarter was like around $8.
The biggest
16,
difference
17,
would be
35.
between the dime and the quarter.
Yeah.
So $8.50 for a quarter, $3.50 for a dime.
Yeah, but even even still pretty
40%,
close.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Rule of thumb.
Okay, the U.S. Mint has struck 4 different types of nickels.
Okay.
This is going to get us deeper into the woods, okay? Name them and the year they began to be struck.
No shot at that. If I
Well,
could
you
even
know
name
one-
the 4,
you know
that'd be
one
amazing.
nickel.
Buffalo nickel,
Okay,
Jefferson nickel.
yes.
My brain can't unhear Henning nickel. Check out our video on Henning counterfeiting the nickel.
The Henning nickel is
Not
is a
one the U.S.
Jefferson
one made.
It's a
yeah.
Jefferson nickel.
But I've seen that video so many times now that it's in my
But
brain.
you can give us the year the Jefferson nickel started.
I mean, can I?
Because it was up against the Washington quarter in the which came first questions.
Oh yeah, I already don't remember though. There's a lot of years being thrown back and forth. Gosh, can I let me just think about if I can even come up with the 4 nickels, because I got those 2: Buffalo nickel, Jefferson nickel.
I don't think you can.
I don't think I can either. What are the other 2?
So the Shield nickel was the very first
Okay.
nickel.
Is it similar to like the Shield penny, but just as a nickel, or is it not even?
No, the Lincoln Shield penny started in 2010.
Yeah,
Different shield.
I didn't know if it was like an homage or something
No,
or related.
Not
No.
really. 1866.
Yeah, I mean, I have no shot
Okay.
at that.
The Liberty V nickel, you've probably heard of the
Oh,
V
I've heard
nickel.
of that. Okay, I've heard of that.
That started in 1883.
That's around the same time as the thrickle that has the 3 instead of the V, right?
Those go back a little bit further to the 1860s.
The same kind of look, like a big Roman numeral
Yeah.
on one. Yeah.
So the third nickel, the Buffalo nickel, began in 1913,
Okay.
and the Jefferson nickel, as stated earlier, began in 1938.
1938.
Yep.
If this is a written exam, I could flip back and.
Yeah, refer to your answers. Okay. Name the top 5 most rare by population wheat cents. Now you don't have to give me the populations, but
the rarest.
The mint minted the wheat cent from 09 to 58.
Uh-huh.
The 5 most rare by population.
So I just have to get year and.
Possible mint mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I know. The only thing I do know off the top of my head is the 55 double die is like a holy
Yeah,
grail
now that's
type coin, right? But that's because the
that's an
error.
error
Yeah,
coin.
it's because the error.
And that's the most popular error penny.
Yeah, it's like an iconic, like lots
Mm-hmm.
of people want to have that one, right? I do also remember when we talked about this the last time, there was a lot that was either like their first year or their last year was the rarest because there was some changeover happening with the plates. So
That's a good clue for
I
yourself.
mean, I would guess 59 is going to be one of them. No?
That's not a wheat cent.
Or
but-
58, I mean, rather the
Yeah.
last year.
No, now there is a 58 double die,
That's pretty
of
rare.
which they found only a handful that's like an immediate $20,000 coin.
Yeah.
All right, here
But
they are.
58 Oh, wait, I was going to try
Oh,
some
you
other
gonna- all
guess,
right,
right?
go
Because
ahead.
there's 3, right? I got to guess
There's
3.
5.
Oh, you wanted 5?
I want the first 5.
Yeah, let me see. Let me just see how many of I can get. I'll do 5 guesses and let's
Okay.
see how close. So the 1909 would be my other guess.
That's the rarest one of all.
Okay, that
The
makes sense.
1909
Yeah,
S.
Yeah,
VDB.
that's what I thought. Yeah,
Population 484,000.
yeah, it's small. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it because it's like there's probably some turnaround time where they're changing out the plates, where they're doing stuff
The
that's different.
last year of the Indian is also the first year of the wheat.
Yeah, so that kind of makes sense.
And there's
to me.
this. Are people going to like this? Because the Flying Eagle was so unpopular,
that they get squeamish and
they only minted it for 2 years. People, so they don't go, we're not going to make we're not going to print 1 billion of these and nobody use them. you
Yeah.
know?
So those are my first 2 immediate guesses, first and last year.
Okay.
I also think the wheat cent encompasses some economic strife for the United States. So maybe like Great Depression, 1932.
That's really close. The second rarest is the 1931
Okay.
San
I
Francisco
figured
strike.
same reason because
They
like
made 866,000 of them.
Yeah.
So that and the 09S VDB are the only 2 that have under 1 million in total strikes.
gotcha. Okay, so that makes sense to me. And then my only other thought was maybe like around World War II, like 45.
It's a good guess.
So what are the actual 5 then?
Okay, here they are. 09S VDB 480.
So we got that. So out of my 5 guesses, I will say pretty close to the top 2 with
Yep.
32 and
31S, 866,000.
Okay.
Number 3 is the 1914D,
Hmm.
the Denver strike of the night. So World War One-ish.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and the more critically, probably for the U.S., the flu epidemic that killed way more people than World War One even did.
1.1 million for that third rarest.
Yeah.
And then the fourth rarest goes back to the first year of strike, the San Francisco '09, the 1909 S, no VDB. They made 1.8 million of them.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you buy one of those today, as of the date of this recording, you're going to pay about $100 or more, depending on its quality. And the fifth, the 1924 Denver strike, 2.5 million.
That I have no idea.
So there you go. I don't know the reason for that either, but it's the fifth rarest wheat cent.
Interesting.
All right. Moving right along. Number 12. What year did the U.S. Mint strike the Lincoln Bicentennial Cent, and how many reverses did they create?
I can figure this out because
you
I
can.
know his 100th birthday, 2009.
Exactly. 2009.
And what was the second half of that question? Sorry.
And how many reverses did they make?
Four.
Exactly,
Right?
4.
Yeah.
Birth and early childhood, that has the log cabin.
Right.
Formative years, which is Lincoln sitting on a log. Professional life, okay, which has him standing.
As a lawyer and a yeah.
Yep. And then the fourth one is the presidency, which has the White House in the background. So there you go. By the way, collectors, all 4 of those strikes are really low mint totals relative to how many they typically strike. So you should collect all of those, especially in uncirculated condition.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, this is 15 years now, so it's not even like that recent.
Yep.
Probably
Yep.
at a good price.
Okay, here we go. What year did the U.S. Mint strike its first ever silver commemorative half dollar? So there's about 145 varieties of commemoratives. So
NIFC.
Yep, these are all not made for circulation, although they are legal tender. But they're collector items commemorating different things, Vicksburg and other major battles and major characters like George Washington Carver or Booker T. Washington.
So you said what year did they do the first
What year
one?
did they start doing that?
My only guess, because historically this is like one of the first times the U.S. is kind of like licensing some of its stuff for advertising, like marketing the U.S. government as a civic institution. 1969 with the moon landing, you know, they're like putting watches out that commemorate
Sure.
the moon landing, pens, stuff like that is kind of the first in my mind. There's other stuff like World War II has some things obviously, but in my brain, that's the best guess would be to commemorate the moon landing, 69.
1892.
Wow, that's
Columbian
way-
Exposition.
Wow.
1892. And a lot of those got melted. So that first one had a population of under 1 million.
Mm.
And in good condition, in nice condition, I mean, easily a $50 coin and up from there.
Mm.
So there you go, 1892. The Barber quarter was minted from 1892 to 1916, and the Washington quarter from 1932 to today. What series of quarter did they mint in between those two extremes? Remember, we already said they didn't make a 31. So this
Yeah.
quarter would have minted from 16 to 30, 1916 to 1930.
I actually think I know this one.
Okay.
Is this the Standing Liberty quarter?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly right. By the way, those 1916s, pretty expensive if you
Yeah.
come across one of those. Yeah, really low mint total. Okay, the next 6 questions have to deal with currency.
So
Okay?
like bills?
Yes.
Okay.
Notes.
Greenbacks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 questions. When referring to currency, what is meant by a quad note? What is a quad note?
Quad note. I mean, I don't know, but I'm trying to see if I can come up with any type of
Educated guess.
theory. Yeah, a quad note. Does it have 4 of the same number in the serial number?
Exactly. That's
Okay.
exactly right. So the serial number is 8 numbers. There's a letter at the beginning, 8 numbers, and a letter at the end. Right.
So 4 of those numbers matched, like in poker.
4 8s, 4
you've
sevens.
got quads.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, liar's poker.
Guess.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's a
total
note
guess.
you'd want to have if you were playing liar's poker there.
Yeah.
You'd caught with a quad note. Number next. What, and we're referring to currency, what is a binary note?
Is it all 1s and 0s in the serial number?
Nope.
I have no other guess. I
It
mean, that was just my
contains only
best.
2 numbers.
Oh,
4 twos and 4 ones.
Okay, so it's like a double quad, basically.
But it doesn't have to be 4 and 4. It could be 6 and 2.
Yeah. But I'm just
6
saying,
fives.
2 sets of quads, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or using only 2 numbers.
Yeah.
It could be 2 3 2 3 2 3 2 3. That's a
Yeah.
binary note,
Gotcha.
right?
I wonder
All
if somebody has like a binary note, all ones and zeros would be a crazy.
Yeah, I mean they start with 00001 and then they're sequential, so it's out there.
Yeah.
What is a radar note?
Radar is the serial number a palindrome.
It is a palindrome. So 1 2 3 4 4 3 2 1
Makes sense.
would be a radar note. And every time you have currency, folks, I check every bill up to $100 bills, and I look every piece of currency I get. I look for those patterns.
Because people collect them. They're like, I want all radar notes. I want all. There's
There's a big contingency of collectors who look for these. The next one is what is meant by a repeater note. I already gave an illustration of a repeater note.
Is it the same sequence like that? So when it's 4 3 2 1 1 2 3 4.
So if it went 4 4 3 3 4 4 3 3, that's a repeater note.
Gotcha.
Or 4 4 4 4 8 8 8 8. You know, or if it went 1 2 1 2 8 6 8 6, those are repeater
Gotcha.
notes. A ladder note.
Is this when all the numbers count up, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8?
It could be like that, or it could skip 1 3 2 4 3
As long
5.
as it's sequential, like in order, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
A ladder note. And then finally, what is meant by a star note?
Star note. I don't know. I do know the birthday one is one that people look for, right? When you try to find one that matches your birthday.
Yep. That would be like 09101992.
Yeah. Star note. Is it all the same number? 8 of the same number?
No, that'd be really cool though. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's a note that's been replaced. So
Oh.
if you take a note out of circulation by a quarter of it's cut off and you bring it to the bank,
Got crumpled in the
they'll
wash,
turn
whatever.
it back into the mint, and a new issue will be made of the same serial number with a red star.
Huh.
Star notes. There's a whole contingency of collectors out there that collect nothing but star notes. So watch for star notes. They're immediately valuable because they've replaced a damaged note.
So I think this is illegal technically, so nobody would ever do this, of course. Do people intentionally damage and change them out like that to get more?
I don't know the answer to that. I imagine so. You know.
I think it's technically illegal because you can't deface currency, right? Intentionally.
Yeah.
But if your jeans accidentally went through the wash with a pocket full of hundreds
I
that
guess
had
so.
interesting dates and
guess it
stuff you
could be a
wanted,
deal.
yeah,
Yep.
Huh. Don't do it. It's illegal.
There you go. All right, folks. That's the end of the quiz. How'd you do? Write in the comments below. And be sure to check out what we have online on our website at parkerpennies.com. John Parker reminding you to enjoy collecting for a lifetime.